Hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Thursday the 13th of June, and it is racing at Turffontein. We're on the inside track. What's on the card? Well, it's 8 races on the card, so race meeting begins at 12:30 and the pick 6, the big one, begins at 13:40. I trust that you well, you the valued racing fan, and looking forward to bringing in the weekend from this Thursday at Turffontein, Den Kabeka, and of course it is a big day at Hollywoodbets Greyville. It's the Tab Gold Oaks and the Tab Gold Derby on Saturday. But let's get our man in the know, and hopefully he can point us in the right direction for this card, because we need some help here. Alistair Cohen, good day to you.
Good day, Dees. You describe me as a man in the know. With this meeting, I hope that I can steer people in the right direction. But what I will say, Dees, is that this is, I think, the third, put in inverted commas, half stakes meeting that has been hosted by the Halfpad during the off season. The first one famously paid less than 4,000 rand. By the way, that Bunny and Coke deal is now, it's lapsed, so no more Bunnies and Cokes in KZN from Dees and I. And the second one, the results also behaved. So, I mean, I hope we don't trust a little bit too much and get burnt this time around, but what I'm actually trying to say to punters is, although it might look open, it certainly is open. These meetings, the last 2 meetings anyway, have been well behaved. So let's hope that we can go in with a fair degree of trust and come out on the other side. It's not my style not to tip an exotic. I've not tipped an exotic. I've tipped a place all to come on the card. Let's hope it all clicks, it all comes together, and we can all be happy at the end of it all.
Well, the thing about a place all to come is that you can use it as a roving banker in all your bets on the tote, be it a trifecta, quartet, even an exacta or a swinger. So we'll listen out for those place all to comes from Alistair Cohen at the end of the show. Okay, maiden handicap, fillies and mares, 1,500 meters. This is how we're going to get things off, and it is a work riders race. Horses in single figures, number 1, 2 to 1, number 2 at 5 to 2, 3 is at 2 to 1. 5 and 8 to 1 shot, and 6 is at 6 to 1. And that is it. Those are the horses in single figures. I think the first question will be 2-year-olds or older horses over 1,500 meters when it comes to the individuals. And then we'll possibly touch on the 3 horses at the top of the betting boards, because it's tight, numbers 1, 2, and 3. But is it 2-year-old or older horse for you?
I'd ordinarily shoot for an older horse, but the fact that the 2 older horses at the top of the boards do look pretty weak. I think it opens up for a horse that, well, I see that she's in single figures. Number 6, Gloria Mundi. So I am actually on the side of a 2-year-old. Just hear me out. Last time she ran behind Olivia's Way, running just behind Messalina, her stable companion, and she's 4 kilograms better off. So if Messalina's 2 to 1 and Gloria Mundi's 6 to 1, I don't really know how that logically adds up. Ridden by Jarpie Bessel. I've known Jarpie from my days at Flamingo Park. He is Corey Lensley's right-hand man. I mean, there are not many guys in Joburg, work riders, that can ride 52 kilograms. Jarpie, I think, weighs 32. So there won't be any sweating and sort of any lack of strength from Jarpie getting on number 6, Gloria Mundi. I don't know if she'll win these, but what I am saying is that she is the value in the race with a 4-kilogram swing for a half a length, less than half a length, and coming out of a good draw. Number 6, Gloria Mundi. In the Spice race, I'll be going with number 6, Gloria Mundi. And by virtue of that, of number 2, Chicago Lass, being a 6-start 5-year-old maiden who ran well last time, second on after a race, she should be fitter, better, and more comfortable this time around. She's probably the logical top choice, but there's still got to be red flags waving with number 2, Chicago Lass. And Lorenzo Creamsyard's been a little bit quiet. There've been a few scratchings of late. You know, Mano's one of my favorite guys in the game. He's got a heart of gold. So I'd love to see Chicago Lass do something, because she is well bred, being by Silvano out of a stakes winning mare, Lauderdale. But sadly, she is average. This is probably her best chance. And number 1, Ambitious Lady, also deserves a mention. She's got the worst of the draws problem, and also in her local debut, she drifted from an opening price of 9 to 10 to 5 to 1 when running behind Sakambaya. And I'm calling up that form line now. The third horse, Captain Jim, came out and ran third again in a very weak field. But when horses like Pomo, Clapper, Oklahoma Twister are beating you by 5 lengths, I'm not convinced that that form's something that we can take to the bank. So value lies with number 6, Gloria Mundi. I'll probably go with swingers 2 and 6 in the first race. I wouldn't blow the budget in the first race, but that would be my play.
2 and 6, Corne Spicer could hold the hand here to the outcome of race number 1, and I'll keep an eye on Fabian Habib's runner. First run for the stable coming from Kabeja. Of course, Ambitious Lady was quite fancied and then drifted out badly first time out for the Tony Peters stable and ran accordingly. But Alistair could have found the right horse here. 6-1 shot at the time of recording. Horse number 6. Race number 2, start of the place accumulator, 1,000 meters, merit rated 66 handicap. This is the way they're betting. You need to get that pair on by 13.05. Number 1 at 4-1, 2 at 8-1, 3 at 3-1, 4 at 33-10. Number 5 is at 4-1, 6 is a scratching, 7 at 7-1, and 8 is at 7-1. Yup, the betting says it all here, Alistair. Because if you want to try and narrow things down in this place accumulator with 8 runners, I don't know how many you'll need to be safe, but it looks like a race. If you can get through with the minimum spend, it's a win for you. But possibly the right horse, just on what he represents and the form he's in of late, is life goes on.
Geez, I'm going big on Fani Bronkhorst here. As everyone on the show knows, I'll always wait for Pendragon over 1,000 meters on the inside track. I think that's his game. I think he's been running fairly well on other courses, but he hasn't got the long sustaining turn of foot, but he has got a good turn of foot, and that serves him well. He's got Gavin Lorena back on board, and he's got draw 1. This is his absolute game, number 3, Pendragon. I'm going to tip him on top, but I think his stable companion, number 8, Dark Tide, represents a lot of value as well. He was once rated 88. He'll never be an 88 again, a rising 8-year-old. Craig Zaki getting down to 54 kilos to ride. His last 2 runs came in Durban. They were okay runs, but I like him back over 1,000 meters. People don't remember that this horse once ran a place in the Grand Heritage at number 8, Dark Tide. So that's how far he's plummeted. And coming up against these horses, which, are very much in their place. In fact, a few of them I actually think are probably at the highest level that they'll ever reach. Dark Tide is probably at the lowest level he'll ever get to. I think it stacks up for him to run a nice race. Winning doesn't come easy for Dark Tide anymore, unfortunately. So that's why I can't be confident that he'll beat a stable companion, number 3, Pendragon. But I think he's the start of my place all to come as number 8, Dark Tide, because it's 7-1 a win. What are you going to get a place? You'll be able to accumulate those odds as the meeting goes on. And I think Dark Tide is a nice starting point. Talking about number 4, Fennec Fox, winner of this course and distance last time on the back of a £6 penalty. I liked her a lot last time. I've been for her a lot of times. Number 4, Fennec Fox, she finally rewarded the followers at her last start. She's got a little bit more to do this time, and also from the draw, but it was a commanding start to finish win. It wouldn't shock me if she were to win the race, but I'm a Fani Bronkhorst man in race number 2 on the card.
Well, numbers 3 and 8 for Alistair, and my suggestion is, maybe consider number 5 as well, but 8 is the value at 7-1. It's tight here with the betting, but we'll see if the market will separate themselves come race time in race number 2. The big one, the race number 3, is the start of the Pick 6 at 13:40, 20-2. It's 1,500 meters. It's a maiden handicap. Now, the betting. Number 1, Breath of Magic, 17-10. Number 2 is at 5-2. 5 at 8-1, Alistair. 7 is a scratching, and 8 is a 4-1 shot. 17-10 about this horse. The market is there for you to make a decision whether it suits you or not. Does it suit you at 17-10 or not?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. 27 start maiden D's off top weights in a maiden handicap. I can't even tip him to win, even though his numbers stack up nicely. His penultimate run, he finished in front of Code of Conduct and Mr. Nibbles, 2 Mike Miller horses who have come out and won. But I'm not sure that that's going to be enough, especially with horses lower down in the weights who I think are improving. And 17 to 10 is just far too short for me with number 1, Breath of Magic, who is just a professional maiden. I think number 3, Roll of the Dice, has a chance at around 12 to 1. Marco van Rensburg rides for Corne Species. He's done a lot of racing since getting to Joburg. He is what he is. He's got 1 or 2 runs that you can make a case for him. But the second part of my place all to come, and sadly the price is a little shorter than I was hoping for, is number 8, Light in the Storm. Calvin Habib riding for Stuart Pettigrew. This horse is coming along the right way. If you go to the run to Grand Crescendo on the 9th of May, Light in the Storm finished a short head behind Roll of the Dice. And there is half a kilo rather, in favor of Roll of the Dice. But what Light in the Storm has got in his favor is less mileage on the clock. So from that point of view, I think that everything's going to stack up for number 8, Lights in the Storm. He mildly encouraged me last time behind Rosario Finale. He's run with older horses at his last 2 runs, so he wouldn't sort of be out of place against these horses that might just be a hand bigger than him. And I think that he'll run a big race. So, again, because he's part of my place all to come, I can't be 10 out of 10 confident that he's a good thing. But number 8, Lights in the Storm, is one of my stronger fancies on the card. And I think that he'll go very, very close to winning, if not winning the race. 3, Roll of the Dice, the biggest danger.
Well, that's horse number 8 that Alistair singled out there, and that is the 4 to 1 shot. Yep, there is an anti-post book in the fixed odds betting market, and then come race day, it will just start to pan out to what is a realistic book, because the anti-post betting market is just to test the waters on how the punters are swaying, and let's see if they sway further in the camp of number 1, Breath of Magic, at 17 to 10, or they move away from the source at that price. That's race number 3, the start of the pick 6. That could be a nice result for you there with horse number 8 at 4 to 1 that Alistair has picked out. Race number 4, it's jackpot 1, 1,600 meters. Let's get into the field and horses in single figures. Number 1 at 9 to 2, horse number 2 at 7 to 1, 3 at 3 to 1. Then we go on to number 7 at 33 to 10, 8 at 5 to 1, 9 at 8 to 1. It's double figures, the balance. Alistair, before I hand over the baton to you, I've picked out a horse here called Green Bubbles. It's for the Monte Carlo Syndicate. Of course, we know who's that. I don't know, this filly, daughter of Gimme the Green Light for my Woodstock and the boys. I looked up a pedigree firstly, Alistair. That's what started to gain my interest, because I looked at her form, and I know she's taken some time to win. But Stuart Pettigrew has never raced her beyond 1,450 meters in Gauteng throughout her career. And when you look up a pedigree, the siblings have all done well beyond a mile. In fact, there is a half-sister called Mount Etna that's won twice over 2,000 meters. And off late, she's just, started to grab my attention that she could be looking for further. And she's 16 to 1. And that's my value on the entire race card. That's going to be my big contribution for this race card, a 16 to 1 shot. And I don't know what's your thoughts on the filly.
I'm going to break your heart. Yes. It's 9:10 on a Wednesday morning.
Tell me it's
correct. She came out 5 minutes ago. So look, this is people are gonna look into this preview and say, oh well, that might have been a kick for touch, whatever the case may be. This is absolutely legitimate. The phone rings from the guys, and we chat about the card a little bit. And Dees did mention he likes a bit of Green Bubbles at a price. At the time, I said, Dees, it's such a hard race. She's not out of it. Obviously not scratched. So 5 minutes before we started this race, and 10 minutes after we started this recording, she's unfortunately come out. So we'll wait for Green Bubbles and a fillies and mares 64 next time, I'm afraid. Abnormal temperature is the reason. Does that scratching simplify the race? The answer is no. But I think I might have landed on the right horse here. She's 33 to 10, number 7, Kitty Boy's Girl. She's got blinkers on for the first time. Craig Zaki takes the ride for Mark Khan. The jockey lost his crop at the last run. Was her 3rd run after a race. Penultimate start behind Count Your Chances. She stayed on nicely. She finished off well. She obviously doesn't travel too easily in the early stages, hence the reach for blinkers. This could just be the right day for number 7, Kitty's Boy Girl. To add to that, Kitty Boy's Girl ran behind Lingo No More to Sparkling Jubilee on the 7th of March. There was about a half a length in it. She comes in here 1 kilo better off, so that should be enough to turn the form around with Kitty Boy's Girl. Also out of that run, she finished in front of Count Your Chances, Lorna Lily and Leonessa. And if you go back to the run on the 9th of April, where she finished half a length behind Count Your Chances, on that run, she too comes in 1 kilogram better off with Count Your Chances. So the pure mathematics of it all makes number 7, Kitty Boy's Girl, my top selection. If she adapts to blinkers, if she improves just 1 length in blinkers, I think she'll win.
Okay, that's a nice roving banker there, number 3, Kitty's Boys Girl. And thanks for that update. It is number 5, Green Bubbles, that's been scratched during the recording of this show. Race number 5, Jackpot 2, 1,800 meters. And how are they betting here? Number 4 at 9 to 2, 5 at 8 to 1, 7 is a 5 to 1 shot, 9 at 8 to 1, 13 at 8 to 1, and 14, Guy Alexander, is at 6 to 1. I'm going to say this, for the place accumulator, personally, I'm going to take a big chance here and banker number 14, Guy Alexander. Am I way off the mark with that?
No, I couldn't put you off, Guy Alexander, because he's come well, these. I know an interesting story about this horse, the reason why he's still an entire. There's plans afoot to get the ball rolling in Namibia, and he's been earmarked as a potential sire. So anyway, he's got the worst of the draws, that is a problem, but as mentioned, he's come to life as number 14, Guy Alexander, and in a race of this nature, of the lightest weight in this race, there's no way I can be putting anyone off number 14, Alexander, because he can win. Number 10, Flag Bearer, is the horse that I'm going to lead with, again with no real deal of confidence. I don't think he got home over a mile and a half last time behind Kaki Boss. He went off to the front, which he can do. He can be effective from the front, but I just think that he ran out of petrol quite early, did number 10, Flag Bearer. So coming back to a more at-home distance, a distance that he's featured over in the past with Muzi Yeni on board, he might be the best equipped horse in this race to become a 5-time winner. He is as well performed as anyone else in this race. He is the highest earner in this, the second highest earner in this race behind a stable companion, Gilda Gray. And the fact that he's well chiseled, well performed at this level, it might just set up for him to be the right one. There's a horse in this race that I think is underachieved, but that's definitely on my radar at a price of 14 to 1. That's number 2, Haslo Grande. Second one after a fairly long layoff, and he does have an awkward draw to overcome. But I think there's a little bit more than what his overall record shows about number 2, Haslo Grande. I'd definitely include him in PA's pick sixes, jackpots, bipots, etc., number 2, Haslo Grande. But in terms of having a bet, I'd probably wait until next time, I'd just wait for another card to be in his favor, i.e. just a better draw and one extra run under the belt. So he's very much on my radar. I'll kick for touch with him and say that he's got a chance here, but I think the next time he runs, if at a similar level, watch out, because that could be the play on the day.
Well, Alistair has found 2 nice horses here. I say nice horses because I'm looking at the price. Number 10 is a 10 to 1 shot, Flag Bearer, and number 2, Hasla Grande, is a 14 to 1 shot. Couple that with my horse that is a 6 to 1 shot, number 14, Guy Alexander, and you're looking at a sizable trifecta and quartet if those horses have to fill those positions. So it's a nice quartet trifecta to catch up. Race number 5, judging by the betting and judging by Alistair Cohen's assessment with those horses in double figures. Race number 6 is 2,600 meters, a merit-rated 73 handicap. How are they betting in the 6th? Well, number 2 is at 7 to 1, 3 at 6 to 1, 4 is a 4 to 1 shot, 5 is at 28 to 10, so is number 7. And then it is double figures, the balance. Well, I've given you 1 PA banker in the previous race. I'm also going to give you one in this race. That's my perm. Number 7, Nuclear Force.
Big chance But as far as the PA is concerned, yes. Does he want to go on with it? Because I remember that was a day that Gavin won a race. It was a frustrating day for Gavin, and he won a race later. And he was asked in a post-race interview by Cecil about Nuclear Force, and he said he just didn't want to go on and win the race from Khaki Boss. However, on that run to Khaki Boss, he's waited to turn that quarter of a length deficit around. So purely, again, on mathematics, number 7 Nuclear Force has to be a force to be reckoned with. Interesting about number 5 Khaki Balls, because I'd been with her a few times and the blinkers made all the difference to her last time. I like to believe that got her across the line. She's on the back of a £3 penalty, and she's at the weight's got Nuclear Force to turn her around with. But with that said, I think the extra distance, especially with Nuclear Force being 1 from 1 over the trip, I think that's even more fuel to the fire for number 7 Nuclear Force to turn it around with number 5 Khaki Balls. 3 other horses that I wouldn't leave out. Number 2 Caddy Zora ran in the Oaks trial, wasn't a bad effort, probably needed her last run. She'll come on with a run under the belt. She is bred for this distance and more. She's also 1 from 1 over this trip. Mother was a brilliant stay in the form of Goran Gorsa. She actually started close to top of the boards under Kevin Shea in a Durban July roughly a decade ago to Goran Gorsa. 3 Battle of Barberton's definitely got some scope to improve. He's got to prove that he gets this trip, but it's a big step up in distance. He might be up to it. And 4 Royal Mazarin's finally got a reasonable draw. It's not a great draw, but it's a reasonable draw. And he's banging the race as well. So I'd work around all those horses, 2, 3, 4, 5, but number 7 on top of my selections. Also number 9, Coromandel, not a horse to leave out of trifectas and quartets.
Yeah, I just had a look at the index with Pierre Stradham's rides, and he's just got the 2 rides on the day, races 6 and 7. And this horse now being stretched after winning with Pierre last time out. I think that horse trip to Barberton gets 2,000 meters. There was another horse, I think, trained by Gavin Smith, Barberton Silver, that also got 2,000 meters, all raced in Gqeberha. So it's worth noting that this horse takes a big jump up in distance, and Pierre sticks with the ride. Yeah, when it comes to these race meetings and races, a guy like Pierre, it's all about mileage now, and it's minimum and trying to get the maximum when it comes to ride, Alistair.
Pierre's busy looking for rides. I mean, we can talk about Pierre forever because, I love calling the man. I love the story behind him. The fact that 2 years ago, we all said, right, 5,500, goodbye, you're out of here. And See It Again's kind of kept him in the saddle. And because of See It Again, I don't know if I'd go as far as saying riding better than ever, but when he just gets down, that balance, that poise, that timing, and the way that he almost smuts us, it's just beautiful to watch Striker. So I think he's probably frustrated with the amount of rides he's currently getting, because him and his agent Alston are really putting out feelers to get more rides, because I think he's hungry. I think he wants to sort of get the juices flowing before riding See It Again in the Hollywoodbets Durban July. A lot of reasons for him to be excited by the game, and I think his other half, Krishna's, sort of really pumped him up into sort of almost making Striker believe he's 35 years old again, because that's how he's riding, and it's beautiful to see.
Well, that is it. Personally, when it comes to a guy like Pierre, his twilight years, it's more, trying to get quality and the maximum out of your rides than, numbers and trying to get rides in every race. And, for 2 rides at this race meeting, it's worth a go. Follow the man. You'll never know. Races 6 and 7. Race 7, 1,450 meters, merit-rated 66 handicap. Number 1 is at 5-2. Horse number 4 is scratched. 5 at 7-2. 8 is at 5-2. And 14 is a scratching. Well, I've gone bang, bang, and I'm going bang with the PA here, Alistair. I mentioned to you that it was Guy Alexander, then Nuclear Force, and this is my other banker in the PA, Sudden Style.
Top choice, third part of my place all to come. I think she'll go very close. She's turned it around at her last 2. I think Gavin Arena's fairly confident that she can get the job done. Sticking with her is a big kicker. Her run against Boys at her penultimate start behind Putin's Promise was very good. I think the inside track will suit her. I know that she's a one-time winner from 34 starts. Hard to get excited about that record. But with that said, she does seem to turn it on, and not for a very long time. So she's had 9 starts on the inside track for 5 places. So that's an above 50% place strike rate here on the inside track for number 8 Southern Style. And I like her chances. And to be fair, if you look beyond her, you're just going to get an almighty headache. She just stands out. She's got the best numbers to recommend. Sparkling Jubilee is very much in the race. Diego de Gavea gets a tune out of Sparkling Jubilee. But I think that she's better on a longer straight like the Val. So she might just sort of be left a little bit flat-footed and running out of real estate over the closing stages. But I can see her getting into the camera at the end. Cerulean Dancer, one of the Hollywoodbets Greyville Poly last time, was a good commanding start to finish win. She's backing up after on the back of a £4 penalty for number 5 rather, Cerulean Dancer. So I think she deserves to get into the recommendation. Just want to talk quickly about number 3 After Hours, who's ridden by Pierre Stradham, funny enough. This son of Bezrin, interesting because he comes well at this time of year, does number 3 After Hours, which he showed at his penultimate start. Last time he was awful. Don't really know what to put that down to. So maybe a speculative quartet inclusion, number 3 After Hours.
Number 3 After Hours, Pierre Stradham. And just as I alluded to in the previous race, just the 2 rides worth following. But thankfully, Alistair's in agreement with the filly, number 8 Southern Style, who I think will be good enough for the top 3. Then we close things off in race number 8, 1200 meters, fillies and mares 64 handicap. And this is the way they're betting. Number 1 is at 2-1. Then we go on to number 5 at 18-10. Number 6 at 6-1. Horse number 7 is at 5-1. And it's double figures, the balance. Yeah, they got these 2 horses tight, numbers 1 and 5, and 2-1 and 18-10 respectively. Is it a 2-horse race, or do you see more to the race than what the market suggests?
No, this is my best bet on the card. Number 1, Lady Elliot, at a price of 2-1. I'm surprised she's not top of the boards, D's. I'm very bullish about this daughter of Erupt. Raymond Danielson takes the ride. I know she's got a lug top weight around for a 3-year-old filly, rising 4-year-old filly. But her ratings come down from a 1-88. She's down to a 70. Her penultimate start behind Golden Aspen, she got a £1 penalty. I think that was justified. But the biggest thing for me here with number 1, Lady Elliot, is that she's actually cracked a draw for the first time in 2 starts since she's kind of turned her form around with the rating drop. She started her career, she ran second behind, I'm just getting my ducks in a row here. She ran second behind Just Be Lacquer, who's rated 97 and is placed at stakes level, placed in the Betway Joburg Spring Challenge for fillies and mares that Just Be Lacquer. So that's to say capabilities, I don't know, but that's a level that she's sort of that's a class that she's run to in the past. So I think that now she's in the right place at the right time with the right draw against the right field. So I can't see anything beating number 1, Lady Elliot. Best bet on the card. If I got greedy with my place all to come and turned it into a win double, it would probably be the pedigree horse Light in the Storm onto Lady Elliot on this card. And yeah, the place all to come just worked out slightly better odds. So that's why I've gone with the 4 that I have, and that's by default why she's there. Although 2-1 a win, she's going to be odds on a place to run to the first 3. But I really, really like her chances. And if you want to sort of deviate off that and go with a win, I wouldn't put anyone off. I really like Lady Elliot.
Well, Alistair, he hasn't tiptoed his way through races 1-7. He's given you his thoughts, and he's given you a few horses that are a good value. But I'm glad that he's ended off on a high here in race number 8, because that's when we, most of us needed most come to the end of the race meeting. And this could be a nice way to close things off, see yourself in the green, or maybe build on that profit that you've already made. Number 1, Lady Elliot, to close things off in race number 8. Alistair, you mentioned that it's no exotic for you. It is an all to come that you've chosen. It's up on screen.
Yeah, place sorting. What does Joey Somer always say? The two races you study hardest are the first and the last, because the first you can set yourself up for the day, and in the last that could be the get out. So study the first and last hardest. So here's my place all to come. Race 2, number 8, Dark Tide. On to race 3, number 8, Light in the Storm. On to race 7, number 8, Southern Style. On to race 8, number 1, Lady Elliot. And like I said, if you want to go place, win, then I wouldn't put anyone off that, because for me, Lady Elliot is the one to make you money leading into another feature race weekend in KZN.
Well, before we say goodbye, it's now heating up to Africa's premier horse racing event. The latest log was out yesterday, and exciting times ahead, Alistair. Busy times. KZN comes alive, and Hollywoodbets, well, they've just set the bar at a next level now. Just on what we saw on Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge Day, the activities, the fun, and what was presented to the public on what they can expect and more on July Day.
I've been telling a lot of people who have asked me about the days that I've gone down to KZN. Nothing beats champion season. It's an unbelievable time of the year, starting with the World Sports Betting KZN Guineas and finishing on Gold Cup Day. And I've been lucky enough to be at the Daily News 2000. The Hollywoodbets Scottsville Sprint Day is, I can't stop smiling on that race day for what it represents and the 4 Grade 1s that go with it. But I thought the Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge and the Lomaral Kings Plate were, for me, so far the 2 best race meetings that I've been to this year. The crowd was fair on Saturday. It definitely wasn't sort of bulging at the seams, but the vibe, the atmosphere, the Richard Ferree record, that Gold Challenge field of this year, won by Dave the King, was one of the best weight for age fields that I've seen in my time in racing. It was a beautiful day. It was so well put together by Hollywoodbets. They always say it's a curtain raiser and almost an experiment getting into the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I'm sure that they would have had their discussions on exactly what they need to nail come the 6th of July. But as you say, they raise the bar each and every time. It's the 3rd July that Hollywoodbets have been associated with, and I just cannot wait to get there on the 6th of July, because it's going to be special. The debates have started everywhere. Is it older horses? Is it 3-year-olds? The handicapper, the draw that comes into it, the riding arrangements. I see Main Defenders come out, Royal Aussies come out. Those were 2 horses in the top 18 on the log, so that will push a couple of horses up the ladder. But with that said, the debate begins. I'm not going to agree with you. You're not going to agree with Raheel. Raheel's not going to agree with Warren, but that's the beauty of it. July fever. I wish it was every day, but then I guess it wouldn't mean as much.
Thanks for your time, Alistair. And as we say goodbye to Alistair, to you, the valued racing fan, on behalf of Alistair Cohen, Gallop TV, and myself, Dees Dynan, hope it turns out to be a wonderful race meeting for you on this Thursday, where we race at Turffontein on the inside track. Alistair's picked out some good horses with some decent value, and if things fall into place, well, it could turn out to be a profitable day. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.